Welcome to Beginnings and Breakthroughs. This is where I celebrate and coach people just like you who are on a mission to heal their metabolisms, feel better fast, and live their best lives. We will be walking through what's worked for them and what they've discovered on their journeys, and then I'll coach them on their next best steps. And if you're interested in being a guest, stay tuned and I'll be sharing how you can join me too. Welcome to another session of Beginnings and Breakthroughs. I am super excited to introduce Alicia Snyder to you. She is a registered respiratory therapist who works on flight transport teams in Cardinal Glennon. I got to tell you, when I hear that, because of what, nearly losing a son who was on a flight transport and had this going on. Shout out to you first for what an amazing career and the work that you do. And I'm super excited to share Alicia with you. She started on the Virgin diet through her doctor, her functional medicine doctor, Dr. Chris Warner. And Dr. Chris Warner's business is Healthy by Design. So big shout out to Dr. Chris Warner too. And we are going to talk about her experience with the Virgin diet, and then we are going to walk through where she's going to go from there based on what's going on. I think you're probably going to hear a lot of things in the story. They're going, that's just like me. That's what I need. So there's lots of great takeaways all throughout this coaching session. And if you would love a coaching session, either you're just beginning or you had a breakthrough on one of my programs and you're looking for where to go next, all you need to do is go to jjvirgin.com/sign up. And we will be in touch to see about having you on the show. All right, I will be right back, so stay with me. Okay, Alicia, so what I'd love to do is start from the beginning of our relationship together. When did you find me and how did that happen? And what was going on with you? What were you looking to change?
Okay. I was in a low point in my life. I had reached out to a couple of, I had seen an endocrinologist because I had noticed a nodule on my thyroid and I just wasn't feeling myself, tired all the time. I just didn't feel right. So I went to see an endocrinologist where they told me that I was fat and depressed, which I was aware, but I wanted to know why, because I am an active person. I do like healthy foods. I do, so.
And did they ever tell you anything about the nodule?
So I got a biopsy on it and they basically said, oh, it's benign. So we're just going to watch it. And I was not
the old famous watching.
Yeah. I was not
okay.
So, I have a really good relationship with my chiropractor who then, had been working with me for some sensitivity, training on some other things. And he sent me to a functional endocrinologist. His name is Dr. Chris Warner. So I met with him and sat and cried in his office, and it was a 2-hour doctor's appointment. And so he, we set out on a plan with supplements. I was to read this book, the Virgin Diet. So I ordered the book, read it, and got started on it. And he uses your book actually for a lot of his patients.
I have to know this guy.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him. Dr. Chris Warner.
Dr. Chris Warner. He is with, it's called Health by Design. And it's located in Chesterfield, Missouri.
All right.
Yeah.
That just makes me beyond excited. And we need more functional medicine doctors doing the work. So A+ all the way around. Okay. So then what happened?
So I started October 11th of 2021. And by day 3 of my Virgin diet experience, I was having those intense cravings that you talked about in the book. So
you thought this is fantastic.
It was crazy how good I felt, but even in the first 2 days, the mindset had changed. It wasn't just trying a diet. It it was just different. So I got through day 3 and day 4 of the cravings. And I guess I'm one for self-torture because I left, it was coming up on Halloween. So I candy all over my house because it's a big deal in our subdivision, and managed to get through my cravings, and it was wonderful. I had fun finding things that didn't have the high-fi foods in there. It became a game almost. So
Hear that, everybody? Fun. It's a game. And you know what's so cool is, I mean, when I first wrote the book, we're redoing it now, and it's going to come out as Swap to Drop in January 2024, because there's so many swaps now. There's so many awesome things, right? It's so much easier than it was.
I really enjoyed, it was just, it really was fun. I got a couple friends on it as well. I had one friend that had been battling like a skin issue for 2 years. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, it's got to be this, or it's got, you got to read this book. And so her and I had fun. She would find something that I hadn't found yet. And then I would find something like, you got to try this salsa. There's 0 sugar in it. It's, so it was fun.
Cool. Okay. So what happened?
So I am down in my weight. I have stayed away from gluten because that was a huge, I triggered within, I don't know, 30 minutes of eating the pasta that I had.
And what happened?
I bloated out to like I was 7 months pregnant. I couldn't breathe, like that feeling of, and I think you talk about it in the book too, like when you eat a meal, you're supposed to be contently full, but not like I can't breathe full. And while eating that, I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm so full, but I don't even think I'd eaten a quarter of it yet. I already felt the fullness. But then after that, the bloat came along, and I was miserable. Like I was showing my stepdaughter, I had a t-shirt on.
Look, I look pregnant. You know what I love about that is it takes away this idea of, I think I'll have a cheat day, because you're like, oh, no way.
No. Like, it is legit of somebody offering you something and you're like, oh, I can't have that. No.
Yeah.
So I do think, so I've noticed, I'll be completely honest. I didn't have a reaction to soy. So I was like, okay, no reaction, whatnot.
And do we know anything about your thyroid nodule? Is your thyroid normal?
It got smaller. So the nodule started to get smaller. I couldn't even like wash my back in the shower without pushing it into my airway and sending me into a coughing fit, right? I don't want to have surgery. And so when I talked to Dr. Werner, he said, he goes, I'm not saying that surgery is completely out, but let's do these things, right? Let's do the elimination. Let's do. So since I have not been direct with keeping soy out, I've noticed, the nodule is like right here and it's starting to come back again. So today I've did my phase 2 of elimination. So I'm going to do another round of it.
Okay. So soy, gluten, any other ones that you noticed didn't work well for you?
Dairy, I break out horribly.
Me too. Isn't that a bummer?
It is, because I love cheese.
Who doesn't? I don't trust someone who doesn't love cheese. But the reality is very few people are loved back by cheese. That's the sad thing. But there's a lot of options out there now, thankfully. Okay, so dairy, gluten, soy. I think we're so much better off not having these in the diet anyway. How about corn or peanuts?
So I haven't had any reaction to corn or peanuts. I still try to stay away from that stuff though. Like anything, because I resort back to what your book says about it. And I'm blown away. Like, oh, I know that they talk about corn where you don't really get much out of it, but not only do you get much out of it, it's not putting great things in your body, so.
Right. Now, if you're at a barbecue and they've got organic corn on the cob and they're barbecuing it. Hey, big deal. But if you're like eating all this processed GMO corn, this is a major problem. Major. And the problem is that's really where people are getting their corn. So yikesy. So yeah, that's what I talk about. Just, gosh, you could do peanuts, legume, one of the more moldy crops, or you could do all these tree nuts, which have better fatty acid profile, not a hard thing to do. And then what's your story with sugar?
Oh, sugar is my worst enemy. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I would, if I sat here and was like, oh, I'm so good at staying away from it, I would be absolutely lying to you. So in this whole process as well, I have stopped drinking alcohol. I realized that was a problem, but I've noticed that I've kind of replaced that vice with my sugar intake.
I will tell you, when I was working a lot in the Palm Springs area with clients. And so as a result, I had clients that were coming out of Betty Ford. It's a big center there. And what would happen, not saying that you're big, a Betty Ford level, but what I saw there was that once someone got through the alcohol, they went straight to sugar if we didn't fix it. So,
yeah.
So we can talk about that too. So, and any issue with eggs?
No.
Great.
No,
I love pastured eggs if you can handle them. A lot of people with autoimmune disease, it can be a trigger. So then really, that soy, gluten, dairy are out, that you really, are just staying away from corn and peanuts. And so it sounds like where we really need to focus next is on the sugar. And that is why I wrote Sugar Impact Diet. And we'll get to that in a moment. So tell me what happened in terms of like weight loss, symptom shifts, where, what changed, and now where do you want to go from here?
Okay. So, first, weight loss, I think I lost 13 pounds in the first week and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, it was quick, but it wasn't like, I could feel the difference in my clothing. So I tried to stay, and still I try to stay off the scale, because I know sometimes that can get frustrating.
Well, we're going to talk about how to use a scale correctly. But when you lose that kind of weight that quickly, it is, you are having an inflammatory response to that stuff, right?
Yeah. So to me, it was kind of eye-opening in the sense of like, what have I been doing to my body? Even stuff that I, maybe thought healthy, like, oh, I'm having popcorn as a snack,
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. So I lost the weight. I ended up losing a total of 25 pounds once all was said and done. I used to be really ragey, very short tempered, very, I have a 6-year-old. So it was, if it wasn't the way I expected, it was, it was a yelling household for the most part. And that has like, I've very much now back to my old self that I feel like, where I'm, oh, I mean, like, let's talk about it. Let's, you know, and again, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't any, because, she's 6, but, um, I've, I've calmed down a lot. I'm not as anxious and high strung, and, um, I do a lot of affirmations. I do a lot of meditation now, to help as well. And
Nice.
I overall just feel so good. And that's why I was like, oh, let's do another round.
Well, where would you like to go from here? Like what, you look forward 3 to 6 months, a year, and what would have changed in your health so that you can do, again, like you talk about how different your household is. we don't get healthy to get healthy. We get healthy because of what it allows us to do, right? So what, like, where do you want to be? What do you want to see shift in your health? Like, what's going to happen here? Because we'll future self it and then we can make it happen.
So really, I don't want to feel dependent on sugar to make me happy. I don't want that, oh, I just need a Dr. Pepper with the carbonation and the, or the, these gummy bears are gluten-free. I can eat that.
Beware the gluten-free trap. Beware.
I know. But it's, oh, I can have this little, this little treat. It's, I don't want to depend on sugar because, I used to depend on alcohol, and I will be 9 months sober on the 11th. So
Yay. Well, if you can do that, you can do this.
I know.
So let's do this.
Okay.
So get rid of the sugar. I'll tell you, when I wrote Sugar Impact Diet, I wrote it after the Virgin Diet, because when I first was playing around with the Virgin Diet online, it was not drop 7 foods. It was drop 6 foods. It was gluten, dairy, eggs, corn, soy, peanuts. I do not have a sweet tooth. Could care less. I would plow through like salty any day of the week, but crunchy, but sugar, nah. And so I tell people to pull these 6 foods out, and guess what they go eat? And I'm like, what are you doing? Just like you said, oh, there's gluten-free gummy bears. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop it.
Yeah.
So I realized I had to pull 7, because really, when you look at it, the thing that can massively disrupt your gut microbiome is sugar, and especially fructose. And of course, artificial sweeteners, we know, make us glucose intolerant. So I was like, all right, we got to get rid of this stuff. And I had people coming off the Virgin Diet who were like, gluten, dairy, eggs, corn, soy, peanuts, no problem, but I can't quit the sugar. Or people that were going, but it's honey. It's like, honey, sugar. It's honey. It's fruit juice concentrate. But I'm using Splenda. So I was like, all right, I'm going to tackle this one next. And my goal was to clear up all this confusion out there. It's really not about eating a no sugar diet. All carbohydrates turn to sugar. We just want to make sure that we are making them slowly from the food we eat, not mainlining sugar. And so it's really knowing which to choose, which to lose, and getting control of your sweet tooth, because unless you retrain your taste buds to appreciate like a blueberry or cinnamon or vanilla as sweet, you will be trapped. And that is why these things that are out there that are treats totally undermine you, because it's like your body goes, ooh,
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. I need more of that. And reality is, we weren't built to be in a world with food available all the time, and food that's been developed by food companies to be overly sweet and not very satisfying, so that you eat it and you go, oh boy, that was good. I need more. Right. And I think that's one of the big differences between eating, more whole foods and sitting down and eating a real meal versus eating some of that stuff, is you're just never really satisfied and you just want more. So that's what I did with the Sugar Impact Diet. That is going to be the one that you're going to want to move into, because we've really uncovered your hidden food intolerances. Now we need to retrain your taste buds to appreciate the natural sweetness. We need to get rid of your sweet tooth, because you can't white knuckle your way through it. Like when I looked at all the sugar stuff, I went, the biggest mistake we're doing out there is, and it was very helpful being in Palm Springs with the Betty Ford Clinic, because what I saw there was, they would take them out of the environment where they got in trouble and put them in there until they got them through it. But with food, you can't do that. What are you going to do?
Right.
We eat. It's all around us. You can decide you're not going to go to a bar or have alcohol in your house, but you can't decide, I'm not going to have food here. I mean, you could, it's not going to work for very long. So one of the things I first discovered about this is that if we lead first with protein, that for so many of us, we're not getting enough protein. Protein is like, we have 3 macronutrients, and then I really wish fiber was considered one, and water. Now, what's interesting is we have protein, fat, and carbohydrates. We can live without carbohydrates, but we can't live without protein and fat. And protein, of all of those macronutrients, is the most satisfying, satiating. It's also the most thermic. It takes like 20 to 30% more calories just to have your body assimilate it. It's going to help you with your muscle mass, which when you've got better muscle mass, more muscle mass, which as soon as we start to get over the age of 35, 40, we start to become anabolically resistant where we can't build muscle as easily. When you have more muscle, you have better glucose tolerance, you are more insulin sensitive. So that's really going to be your next step, is working through that so that you break free of it, because that's what we have to do, So that's what we're going to work on. But I have a couple questions for you first before we get into that. Number one, how's your sleep?
My sleep, let's rewind to 3 weeks ago when I didn't have the puppy.
Yeah, without a puppy.
Yes, without a puppy.
I got our puppy and I wasn't home for 3 weeks and my son was, and he trained the puppy. And when we came home, the puppy sleeps through the night.
Lucky you.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky you. Yeah, right before he went home, he was sleeping 5 or 6 hours, but that was just for 2 nights. So before that, that was another thing that I really, with seeing Dr. Warner, I really changed. Like I said, it was a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have shift work, as far as I work night shift and 24-hour shifts with work. And I was not making sleep a priority. Like I was like, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or, I've got things
I love that
to do.
statement. It's like, well, that's good because you'll be dead sooner.
You'll be
if you
dead.
do that.
Yes. I mean, I would maybe take a 2-hour nap during the day. I'd go into my night shift at 7 p.m. I'd get off at 7:30 in the morning. And then if I had things to do, I would just stay up. It was horrible.
All right. Wow. So what do you do besides puppy situation?
Yeah, no. So now sleep is a priority. Sleep has become where I want to be in bed by 9:30. My little one will wake up anywhere from 6 to 7, just depending on the day. And I went from not being a morning person at all, I mean, struggling to even get out of bed some days, to being ready, like, all right, let's get up and let's go. And, so when she comes in, I'm up for the day. When I do work, on my 24-hour shift that I work, I do try to nap as much as possible, because you never know when you're going to get a call and if you'll be, up during the night because of work. So I kind of take the day to really sleep, but I've really tried to make sleep a priority, and I've really seen the difference.
Cool. And how often are you on shifts that you have to interrupt your sleep?
I have one 24-hour shift a week and one 12-hour night shift. Okay.
So the one thing I'd recommend there, are you using any kind of sleep tracker like an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch or anything?
I do have my Apple Watch.
Cool. So I would just definitely keep track of it, especially when you have your shifts, so you can make sure that you are prioritizing sleep. I'm glad that you have. That's such a big one, especially for where we're moving into next, which is really watching insulin sensitivity, blood sugar balance, and like poor sleep. You're done. And you probably notice it when you've got a 24-hour shift or a night shift, like the next day you're hungrier. And right. And you're not hungry for salmon, lo and behold. So, be aware of that. Next thing is so your thyroid nodule, thyroid hormone levels, everything there is fine.
Everything would always come back in the, and I'm going to do my little quotes here, quote unquote, normal range, which
I'd be concerned if you didn't have a functional medicine doctor. With the functional medicine doctor, they're not going to put you into the lame normal. They're going to put you into the ideal normal. So
right. And he looked at so many different other things that goes into that. It wasn't just like, oh, like your T3 and everything. Cool. It was, oh, well, yeah, those might be in the typical Western medicine normal range. However, you have this, and this that's going on that could be playing into that as well.
So you weigh yourself. Do you have a scale that also does your body composition?
That I do not.
Okay, this is an expenditure you're going to want to get.
Okay.
And we just were going through them to find there is a Tanita scale that's like $100 or less that does body composition. And I will put the link on my website too. So if you're listening to this going, I want this scale, I'll put it on my website under resources, but it's basically a body composition scale that tells your visceral fat and what we are going to want to watch. Now, do you know what your waist and hip measurements are?
I have them in the notes on my phone. My hips, the last I measured were, well, and I haven't remeasured, I guess, since I've lost all my weight. So,
well,
yeah.
Okay. So one thing we want to do, yes. So I want to get off of looking at a scale for weight. And here's an idea. Do you remember when we used to just look at total cholesterol, and you'd look at total cholesterol and make a decision on people's health? And then we realized that total cholesterol was not a meaningful number, that you needed to see what was, the different types, LDL and HDL. And then we went further and went, that's not even meaningful. We have to see their particle size and number. It's the same with weight. You got to know what your weight's made up of, right?
Right.
So a 150-pound woman who has 30% body fat is in a completely different health state, metabolically healthy state, than a woman who's got 20% body fat. One's metabolically healthy, one is not. And so what I want to do is we've got so much weirdness around scales, and scales are purely biometric tools, that it's not a mean friend. It's not there to shame you. It's there for you to first go, okay, what is my weight made up of? And for you to approach it as a scientist, as a researcher, as a detective, right? Not as the evil twin who's going to go say bad things about yourself. So that's overdone.
Okay.
You go in there and you go, okay, so if I weigh whatever it is, and I'm just going to use 150 pounds as an example, I want to know what my weight is made up of. And there's two big components that you're going to get on the scale. One is fat and one is everything else. And everything else is called your lean body mass. Your lean body mass is your organs and your bones and your muscle. The thing you can really change there is your muscle. You're not going to all of a sudden get your organs growing. If you are, there's a bigger problem, or getting a lot of bone density. It's your muscle, and your muscle changes everything. Because if you are holding on to and building muscle, and for so many people, it's like they're sitting here trying to lose weight when they really need to put on muscle. It's like they're approaching the wrong direction, right?
Right.
So muscle holds everything in tighter, increases your metabolism dramatically. It takes a lot for your body to maintain muscle on your body, build it and maintain it. And it also is where you first start to get really good blood sugar control, and your insulin starts to get sensitive. So I want you to have a body comp scale, and specifically one that can tell what's called visceral adiposity. It's the fat around your gut, because that stuff's the really bad stuff. That's more inflammatory. And we want to make sure. I just had someone who went from 6 pounds of visceral fat to 2. That is like a big win. And reality is we want you to be somewhere between, for women, the range is 15 to 25% athletic, 15 to 20% normal, 18 to 22%. You can scooch up to 25%, but more than that, don't recommend it. So we really want to see where you're at and what needs to happen for you to get there. And if you're building muscle, you will then boost your metabolism and get better at burning fat. Like, it will happen. But if you focus on just losing weight, you might lose some of that muscle, and you'll actually start to slow down your metabolism and make yourself worse, not better. Okay. You also want to be watching your waist and hip measurements to make sure that you're losing your waist as you're losing weight, and that your waist to hip ratio is 0.8 or less. Like, what you don't want to have people, have yourself be a 1-to-1 ratio. Right? You got to make sure that your waist is coming down. I would say if you're losing weight but not losing your waist, you're actually making yourself worse, not better, because you might be becoming, sarcopenic, losing muscle. So in order to do that, number one, you've got to monitor correctly with a body composition scale, and once a week doing your waist and hip measurement. And number two, you need to then work on exercise that's going to help improve muscle mass. So what are you doing for exercise?
So exercise I've been doing, I started Asana Revel. yoga. So I've been doing yoga trying to do it at least 3 times a week.
And what kind of yoga is that?
It's it's an app called Asana
Oh, okay.
Rebel.
So it's an app. So what
Mhm.
style yoga are you doing?
So it has me on this like beginners, or I guess it had me on this beginners plan, and it kind of gives me a video daily. Like when I go, then the next video happens, and then the next video.
Okay.
So
How
I'm
hard
not,
is it?
I like it moderate. So I definitely like a challenge. I think I could be challenged more.
All right.
Um,
So can you change it? So, because here's what we want to have happen. You want to, and I think yoga is a great thing, but it's not going to be enough.
okay.
So where I'd love you to do yoga maybe once or twice a week, I'd also like you to do some real resistance training. Yoga is going to give you good resistance training with body weight, but it's hard. You're not going to be able to get everything that you need from that. So another easy thing to do at home is to get a TRX trainer. These are like $120. You can go on YouTube and see all sorts of, I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this. So if you have a TRX trainer and a couple sets of dumbbells and maybe one of those big stability balls, you can pretty much get a full-on home workout.
Okay.
So you can create a home gym for like, $200, $250.
We've got a lot of stuff. It's just that is it's making excuses basically.
Yeah. So stop that.
Downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop the excuses. Just stop it. Any other thing you need help with, just don't do that. You have to, and this is honestly why I love personal trainers and I learned it early on. I was a personal trainer 30 years ago. And I first was really lenient. Oh, if you can't show up, just let me know, and then I was like, no, you get charged whether you show up or not. And I started to think I should probably charge double if you don't show up, because the biggest reason I think personal trainers are successful with people is because people show up.
Yeah.
It's the number one success strategy, show up. So you got to put that in your calendar every day, some movement daily as a non-negotiable.
Yeah. So I actually had, before I saw my functional doctor, I was seeing a personal trainer because I was like, I was to the point like something has to change. But was just missing that additional little piece. I had stopped seeing her, just because I was like, nothing's happening.
Well, when you want to shift your body composition, step one is to fix your diet. Step two is to add this piece in. And I think that one of the best ways to use a personal trainer is to have them come and set up a routine for you. And then like once a month, come and mix it up and give you the things to do. Okay. Unless you're not disciplined enough, in which case then you need to have them come over, but get disciplined, right? Yeah. Okay. What do you take supplement wise?
Oh my goodness. I have a whole list. I take a multivitamin, D3K2.
Okay.
I take a vitamin C powder.
Mm-hmm.
I take a probiotic and magnesium.
Okay.
Zinc.
Mm-hmm.
I take biotin, and let's see what else.
So the one thing I'm wondering about, and this would be a great one to talk to your functional medicine doctor about,
sure,
is sometimes, now this is where, really making sure your sleep is dialed, you're adding in resistance training, you're going to lead protein first with this diet. And I'm going to walk you through sugar impact diet, which will help tremendously. But I heard you say these sugar cravings, and the one thing I thought of is it may be interesting for you to do a trial of 5-HTP.
Okay.
And, I have it in my sleep candy, so I take it at night before bed. That's one way you could do it. You could try taking 50 milligrams in the morning and the evening and see if that helps, of just straight that. But when I hear that, I always go, gosh, we should do a trial 5-HTP and see if maybe you are just, your serotonin's a little low and that's why you're craving sweets, because it can make that happen. So just put that in there. Now, walk me through like What's your typical eating day? What time do you eat your meals? Do you snack in between? What's typical for you?
Typically it is, um, I am a horrible breakfast person.
All right, we're
But
going to reframe that because we're
okay.
not going to apologize or say things like that about
Okay.
ourselves.
Okay.
There are enough other people that will say
I
crappy
don't
things about
like
us.
eating breakfast. How about
Okay,
that?
well, you don't have to eat breakfast. Why don't you like eating it?
I'm just not I don't really like breakfast foods.
Okay.
I mean, even some people will be like, "Oh, let's have breakfast for dinner." And I'm like, "No, thank you." But
Most breakfast foods are desserts, so that makes me happy. Realize that breakfast is breaking the fast. You could do that at 11, you could do it at noon. You can do it whenever. You don't have to eat breakfast. Like, all the rules are out. I used to be really hardcore, eat within an hour of waking up, but the research really doesn't support that. It does support eating more of your calories during, the normal circadian rhythm. So you don't go, okay, I'm just going to eat it all at night. No, don't do that.
right.
And it does support stopping eating at least 3 to 4 hours before bed and going to bed at a normal decent hour, and really optimizing circadian rhythm. So sleep when it's dark, be up when it's light, eat the majority of your calories earlier in the light time when you're really active. So that's key. But if you could do your perfect eating for you, what would it look like? Like, that would make you happy and work with your, like, when you're hungry, etc.
So perfect eating for me would be
And by perfect, I mean that makes you happy. Not that you're being perfect. Okay.
Okay. Usually waking up, drinking my coffee to get my little caffeine jolt.
What time do you wake up?
Anywhere from 6 to 7.
Okay. Anything in your coffee?
Almond creamer.
Any sugar in that?
Yes, there is. So,
okay.
But I like black coffee too. So I know that I could
let's just have black coffee.
Sounds good.
That actually breaks your fast and messes up something called autophagy, which we want to extend because it's basically your body's cellular detox. Okay. So we have coffee. Then what happens?
Then it's usually bouncing around the house, running errands and stuff. If I do lunch, usually my lunches are lighter, and that was something that I did discuss with Dr. Warner, is eating a heavier lunch and then my lighter dinners. But I'm even struggling because it's going to sound like I don't eat a lot, but I do.
Well, so when do you eat a lot?
Usually dinner is my biggest meal, because that's usually, all families home. It's the evening chaos of husband's home from work. Even if I'm working that night, but we try to have dinner on the table by 5:30 every night.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's a typical dinner?
Typical dinner consists of a protein and a starch sometimes, and usually, and always, like, protein, starch, and vegetable is usually what it consists of.
Okay, give me a typical one.
A typical one. I mean, the other night we had steak and a baked potato and a salad.
Okay, and how big of a steak? What kind of steak?
It was from my brother's farm. It was a ribeye, but I don't like fat, so I cut it all off usually. And I only ate half of it. So I probably ate 5 ounces.
Okay. And then a whole baked potato?
I did do a whole baked potato that day.
Anything on it?
I did do sour cream. I knew I was doing, I was horrible this weekend because I was like, I'm doing my second elimination. So it was
that diet mindset is what hurts us all. And here's what's amazing. Have you tried Kite Hill sour cream?
I haven't.
It's awesome.
Is it?
It's dairy free.
Okay.
You won't notice a difference.
What's it called?
You don't need to actually go cheat, because you can just have that.
Okay.
Kite Hill dairy free cream cheese. I think it's almonds.
Okay.
So, and then you had a salad. How big of a salad?
My salad was, I would say, a cup and a half.
And what was in it?
Tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, green peppers, sunflower seeds. That's it, I think.
What kind of dressing?
I do it's a Tuscan olive oil cranberry vinegar dressing that I make.
And cranberries, like cranberry juice? What is it?
No, it's a cranberry balsamic vinegar.
Oh, okay. And just a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Because that can be a sugary thing. So here's a simple makeover for that. Have a little bit more steak. Now, when I look at your overall, if you want to eat 2 meals a day, are you having a snack in between lunch and dinner?
It just kind of depends if my kid's home, and if I grab a snack though, like I have cut up fruits and vegetables in my fridge that I'm usually grabbing because a lot of the snack food is more processed, and I also had
snack
issues
food's
with
gross. Don't touch snack food.
I had an issue with losing my hair and
lunch.
stuff too. So yes.
Yeah. So whenever I hear that, I always think thyroid. When you eat lunch, and then you eat dinner. What time is lunch usually?
Hit or miss. 11:30 to 12:30.
Okay. So you're basically, if you didn't do breakfast, and you normally don't do breakfast.
No.
So you normally eat like 11:30, 12, and 5:36. So you're doing you're doing a great job doing intermittent fasting, even though you didn't intend to do it, sounds like. Do you eat anything after dinner?
If I do, it's making like I'll do yogurt fruit bowls for my little one. So it'll be fruit, but she's in bed we're getting her ready for bed and stuff by like 7:30. So there's usually nothing consumed after 7.
Okay. And you go to bed when?
9:30.
Yeah. So what I'd love to do is just get that done by 6:30. So shut it down. You got to stop eating 3 to 4 hours before bed. What happens on your shifts? Are you eating when you're doing the overnight shifts?
So I try not to. Usually I eat before I leave. And then I've been packing either leftovers from dinner, and that I'll eat. Usually I try to eat it a small, like before midnight, so that way I can lay down and sleep.
And do you need to do that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's more or less that has, I guess, become my safety net, because if we do go out and travel for whatever reason, traveling, I don't know if it's the adrenaline rush of taking care of a patient, and all that. Usually it's like, especially if we're flying, it's, God, we're starving, So usually that's my safety net.
What I call my emergency food, I would really work on for you, because I think it's going to help with your blood sugar. So when you intermittent fast, which could be anything from a 12 to 14 hour fast, but really the research is done on 16 hours, 16 to 18 hours, you naturally do that. And it helps with autophagy, cleaning out the cellular debris. It helps with activating stem cells, growth hormone, cleaning out all the bad stuff out of your gut through your migrating motor complex. It helps with blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity, like all this great stuff, right? The challenge will be making sure that you get enough protein when you're not eating that much. The thing I'm going to emphasize, so I have these bars that are brownie collagen bars. And what I would say is, if you used those and took them with you on your trips, that way, if you are starving, before the patient comes in, you can always have one of those that will keep you going, or one of the keto bars that I have. I would keep a bunch of those with you. Those are my emergency stuff that I keep with me. And if I'm trapped somewhere, because you never know when you're flying or what else, where you might get stuck. But instead of eating before I need to, just in case, because let's face it, when you're going into that and your adrenaline's up, you're not going to be hungry. It's going to be after, when everything settles down, right? That you're going to go, whoa, because all of a sudden, whew, so you'll have that there and you'll be okay. So that's what I would recommend there. And what I would say is we've got to make sure at dinner, like how I would make over dinner is we got to get your protein levels up, because where you want to be in terms of body composition, et cetera, generally it's a pound. It's at the lowest end, a gram per pound of ideal lean body mass. And at the high end, which probably is going to be about 130 for you, 120, 130. So that's like, let's say your lowest end would be 120 grams of protein, but you probably would do better more with like 160. So 2 meals getting in that much protein is not very easy, right? What I want you to do is you're building your plate, and you'll see this, get the sugar impact diet, because you're going to go through that. And it's going to help you get rid of your sweet tooth forever. And there's a tapering down that you do, but it really helps you focus your meals on building your plate around protein or your smoothie. This is why I like smoothies, because you can literally do, I'll do 2 scoops of my protein powder, and then I do a scoop of collagen, and then I'll use this flax protein enriched milk from Good Karma, and I've got 40 grams of protein already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I can just go, boom, I've got that. So, you got to look at now, how do I get 50 grams of protein at a meal, or even maybe 60? Like, we've got a protein focus, then your non-starchy vegetables. And if you want to get 5 servings of non-starchy vegetables as your baseline floor each day, that's your bottom line. We're going to have to make sure, like if you're doing a salad, basically I would have doubled that salad. Then we would have gotten 3 vegetable servings. Like how I would have made over that dinner is started with a little bigger serving of meat.
Okay.
More like 8 ounces, because you're not eating as often. 8 ounces of that. I would have cut the potato down, but I wouldn't have done the potato next. First, I would have you eat the protein to make sure you get it, right? It's very satiating. You might find after that, you're like, I can't really eat that much more. I would have added in some broccoli, maybe with a little grass-fed ghee, and I would have added in a bigger salad. And between the steak, the salad, the broccoli, you've got pretty much all the fat you're going to need, because you had some sunflower seeds there, the olive oil, you had a little maybe ghee or olive oil on the broccoli. You also have your ribeye, even though you cut out the meat, it's marbled. So you had, I'm assuming, a grass-fed, grass-finished, because it was from a farm. So you're pretty well set there. And you're probably going to be full. But if you're not full, it would have been half that baked potato, like half a small baked potato with a little bit of that Kite Hill sour cream, and you would have been done. Easy makeover. And a typical lunch for you is what? And could we just throw in some smoothies here and there, because it's an easy way to kick this protein up?
So I do have your chocolate protein shake. So I guess if I'm hungry in the mornings, or I feel like I can't, then I'll
You don't have to
together.
do that though. You could just have that for lunch.
Okay.
Like you could just make for lunch. It's what I do a lot of times, just because I'm out of time. So I literally will take that Good Karma flax milk and collagen and my shake powder, and then I'll throw in some extra fiber and some more flax. So I'm kicking it, again, kicking that protein up to make sure that I'm getting what I need. It's easier to do when you have 3 meals a day. It's a little tougher in 2. That's why you want to lead with that first. But you're going to find when you have enough protein and those healthy fats, that you always have to count the protein, the fat and the protein. So, if you're doing a smoothie, like I'm getting fat from the flax milk, fat from the flax in there. So I've got a pretty well counted, or maybe I'm doing some avocado. So I'm doing protein, adding any fat I'm getting in from that, then adding non-starchy vegetables. I'll tend to, if I do that for lunch, have a salad on the side. I don't like putting greens in my shake. I wish I did. And then, then we'll see what else happens. If you do a little bit of a fruit in a smoothie, that's part of your starchy carbs, but your focus really is protein, healthy fats, non-starchy vegetables, and then maybe a little bit. And you'll see it when you go through the sugar impact diet, how easy this is to do. But I think it's going to make it really easy for you to go through this.
Okay. So then do you recommend that being as I literally just started to do the Virgin diet, since I understand what my sensitivities are and stuff?
You already know. So you don't I would check in once a year just to make sure eggs aren't an issue. But since we know that gluten, dairy, soy are out, and that you really shouldn't be eating corn, there's better options than peanuts. Your big issue is sugar.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically sugar impact diet is going to be way easier for you to move into now that you've done the virgin diet. Okay. There's going to be the first phase where I take you from high sugar impact foods to medium sugar impact foods. You're already there. So it's going to be, so you could actually, there's a taper week that I take people through so that I don't have to go cold turkey, because that's how people fail. But I'm guessing you've already done that with how you've been eating. So we could move you right into the next 2 weeks of it.
Okay, cool.
And then you'll see some, and what it really helps you do, the goal with that program is to get rid of your sweet tooth.
I would like that.
Well, some of your sweet tooth realize, if you are doing a job that's kicking up adrenaline like that, it will deplete serotonin. And it's going to make you want sugar. So it's kind of a rebound impact to follow up with something, it might be interesting when you get through that, but that stress part, to either get a GABA chewable to take. There's a product, there's a Designs for Health has a great GABA chewable. I'm actually going to start bringing this product out because it's a great way for you just to kind of calm down, or following again when you're off work with the 5-HTP. So I think that step, let's test those and see if that can help too. And eating more protein helps tremendously.
Okay. Yeah, I know that I don't get enough protein. I know that I don't.
Most people don't, because in the United States, for some reason, we're scared of it. Be scared of the processed bad seed oils. Don't be scared of protein. That you eat a lot of protein, you're full, you won't eat. You eat cereal, you're going to be hungry. So yes. All right. So body composition scale, weight training, TRX, playing around with 5-HTP and GABA to see how those work. You can talk to your functional medicine doc about it. And sugar impact diet. Those are your things. And then of course, tracking your sleep.
And what was the name of that scale that you recommended?
I'm going to look at the one that because I just had Jason on our team, who's awesome, do some research for me because I hate researching. And he found, I'm such a baby.
I don't blame you.
I hate research. Tanita's BC 533 Interscan body comp monitor right now is save 17%. It's $99. Yeah, and it does all the things we want, but the most specific things I want is body fat percentage, body water, and then visceral fat. So.
And then do you always use flaxseed milk versus almond milk versus?
No, you can rotate them around. The reason I'm liking that one is because they have extra protein in it. So it's a way for me to smuggle it in. So, you can use almond, you can use coconut, just you can't use ones with cream. And when you start the morning and you start with an almond milk creamer with sugar, you just told your taste buds, wake up.
Yeah.
And want more sugar. So you got to stop that. Okay. One of the things that does take your sweet tooth away is sour. So, if you saw me, I was drinking the Suja lemonade. It's got a little bit of stevia, but it's got cayenne pepper. So it's a little zippy, and the sour can take your sweet tooth away.
Okay.
Yes. Super fun.
Yeah, there were mornings there for a while. I'm also reading a book right now called Atomic Habits, to try and build these smaller habits that, pay off in the long run. And, it was the cup of lemon water in the mornings. And I got away from that. And I was like, I don't even know why I got away from that. I just,
go back. I work on one habit at a time. Last year during the pandemic, it was getting meditation going. That took a year. I went to 4 Dr. Joe Dispenza retreats. I was like, I am determined to do this. And finally, I've got it in. And now I'm working on another one. Then it was making sure I get fermented foods in every day. So just get one dialed, go to the next, right? Give yourself grace. We try to do too many things and are hard on ourselves, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that I think was the biggest struggle, is looking back. I was so hard on myself and not looking in the right direction to try and heal myself. Where it was like be skinny, lose the weight.
You know what? Here's the thing. You don't lose weight to get healthy. You have to get healthy. And when you get healthy, your body is going to burn stored fat for fuel. You're going to hold on to and build muscle. You'll have great energy. It's a byproduct. It's not the thing. And we get ourselves all messed up and then wrap all the shame around it. And it's just ridiculous. Instead of looking at the massive changes you made already that are crazy cool, right? That should be celebrated.
Right.
Instead, you're going, I'm not thin enough. Like, we just got to knock it off. So this is just, we get healthy by peeling the onion, right? In layers. So now you're on to the next layer.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I really, your book helped so much. It helped friends of mine. It's helped, I love it.
Yay. Thank you. Well, I'm excited to get we were trying to get the revised one swapped to drop out for this January, 2023, but publishing world's backed up.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's no paper. So, that changed things. So anyway, but it will coming soon. We're doing all new programs that are coming out fall 2022. So all sorts of cool stuff on the horizon.
Cool. Well, I'll have to even give my doctor a heads up, because
I wrote his name down too. And again, shout out to Dr. Chris Warner. Thank you.
It was funny. He was, my girls would use the term geeking out. He was just like, really? Because I was like, oh, by the way, this is so random, but I'm going to be on a podcast and I have you to thank, basically. So
yes. Well, thank him when you talk to him next. Ask him about those two things. And please let me know what happens as you do this. Okay.
Okay.
Love to come back and share what happens.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, JJ.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I am super excited to hear what's going to happen next for Alicia now that she's going on the sugar impact diet. And again, starting to monitor that body composition and add some muscle and go protein first. Again, if you would love to participate in the show, Beginnings and Breakthroughs, whether you're just beginning or you've had a breakthrough and would like to go to the next level, all you need to do is go to jjvirgin.com/sign up. And I am so grateful that you're tuning in. If you have not yet subscribed, hello, make sure you don't miss any juicy tidbits by going to subscribe to jj.com. Super easy. And I'll see you next time. Bye.